Us.
Welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Kanye West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He has also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage. "There is no excuse for this," thundered the New York Times. "West is legitimizing extremism," shrieked Rolling Stone, etc., etc. What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill. Too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient. There's nothing to see here. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you. He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries. His free-form social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring and is often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America's young people, and that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact,
Yeah, no wonder that was not your conclusion. Because, let's be fucking real, the right does not give a shit about black people. They've never given a shit about black people. That's why they do racial agitation as a viable tool for galvanizing their base of white supremacists that are the most active within the party. And they don't give a fuck if a black man is having a mental health episode. As long as they can use that black man to advance their narrative, they're going to do it. Oh, we don't think he's crazy. Crazy? I mean, that's not crazy. I mean, look at Herschel Walker. Anyway.
We've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But again, you can judge for yourself. Here it is. So you just came from Paris Fashion Week. You just landed, and you have a lanyard still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And that you designed that?
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life. I'm pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen, I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet. When did you?
I'm going to run that back. Sorry.
Man, I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I love Tucker Carlson and his inability to hold his excitement at what the most divorced dad in America is saying on the most white supremacist broadcast, which also unfortunately happens to be the most popular news broadcast in the country. Like he just goes,
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet.
He just came. He just came in his pants, dude.
When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I liked Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, you know, okay, green light me then.
Dude, just substitute White Lives Matter for the swastika, by the way. Like, because that is what that is. It's a white supremacist slogan. I want to fucking get to the heart of this one more time for people who have any sort of, like, confusion around this, because White Lives Matter is a slogan that was created as a counter to Black Lives Matter. It is no different than White Power, which is the slogan that was created after Black Power during the civil rights movement. It's just PR. It is propaganda from white supremacists to try to deflect away the attention from black people saying, hey, we matter. Stop killing us. Okay? That's what it is. So anyone that says that that's not the case, they're ridiculous. Now, there's varying degrees. There are people who are duped by this propaganda without recognizing that it is actually white supremacist propaganda, of course. Such is the nature of effective propaganda. But do not misunderstand that this is exactly what this is. Okay? When someone says white lives matter, they're openly stating it. He's not even saying all lives matter, by the way, which is the more Republican version of that propaganda. White lives matter is just straight up white supremacists. There's varying degrees of racism involved in here. Okay? There's varying degrees of racism involved in this matter. Obviously, the all lives matter is like the more publicly acceptable version of that, right? Like, oh, why not all lives matter? Well, Black Lives Matter means all lives matter. But all lives matter is a silly notion when you're saying Black Lives Matter, because black lives currently don't matter. Okay? All lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter, because black lives are a part of all lives. Do you understand? So if you're looking at someone going, hey, my house is on fire, okay, while their house is on fire, and another guy goes, hey, man, well, I lit up this candle over here. Why don't we focus on all fires? Well, maybe you're being a little silly bitch, okay? What's up, Tubbo? Tubbo, we're talking about Kanye West, Tubbo. Now, White Lives Matter also has additional context, obviously, because Black Lives Matter is about police brutality and the disproportionate targeting of black people, specifically unarmed black people, black men. Maybe you're being a silly bitch, says Young Skirt. Fucking got me, dude. Fucking got him. Fucking got him, dude. I have nothing to that. I am being a silly bitch. Anyway. Bro, shut the fuck up. You act as if black power doesn't exist as well, which is just as bad. Yeah, you're right, man. Black power against white supremacist institutions is actually just as bad as white supremacist institutions not being enough with respect to creating an environment that is hostile to black people, that people need to take matters in their own hands in the form of white power. Making an equivalence out of white power and black power immediately gives away your position as either the dumbest person on the planet who has been played a fool by white supremacists, or directly a white supremacist himself, okay? You're either a white supremacist trying to behave like you don't know any better, or you are so fucking dumb that you do not recognize that you've been duped by white supremacists in their effort to propagandize their position. Those people are trying to gatekeep the lives of people by bringing up racism. If someone of a different color were to say the N-word, even though they use that word themselves, it's the fucking same shit. This is a hilarious fucking take. Okay? If chattel slavery had not happened, if rampant colonial exploitation and acts of imperialism that still continue on to this day had not happened, the N-word would not have the power that it currently holds. What you are demonstrating is white fragility, okay? You're mad. You're basically saying, oh, it was just a word. Why can't I say it? It's because your fucking grandfather said it, and when your grandfather said it, he used it as a way to justify slavery, okay? Aren't you ignoring all the historical examples of black supremacist societies and the correlating examples of white subjugation? What, like fucking Wakanda? What the fuck do you mean? Historical examples of black supremacist societies. Bro, you don't have to fucking literally try to find like one random tribe or something, okay, to try to justify overarching Western hegemonic superpowers destroying and exploiting the African continent in perpetuity that led to the Industrial Revolution and kept black people globally down. That chatter was joking, right? There's no way that he was right. I mean, the N-word is a reference to slavery. A black person saying it to another black person is solidarity. A white person referencing slavery to a black person is obviously way worse. Yeah, of course. And if the historical precedent of the N-word was not set by the struggles that black people historically faced and the remnants of said struggles that are baked into all of our Western institutions, okay, then nobody would give a shit about the N-word, okay? People would treat it like the word cracker. There's a difference. There's a reason why, outside of, Twitch's terms of service, the N-word is the N-word and cracker is not the same. No matter how racist motherfuckers are, they will still abso-fucking-lutely agree that one is worse than the other. There's a difference between pejoratives and meanie bobini words, okay? Oh, you're being mean. Yeah, I know. I say stupid. I sometimes use ableist language, like I say someone's psychotic and whatever, right? There are pejoratives and there are words that have so much meaning and so much impact as a consequence of centuries of unjustifiable oppression. The N-word was used to demonstrate the depersonalization and the dehumanization of African slaves, specifically so you could justify chattel slavery, okay, to a broader audience. I cannot believe we're doing basic introductory history right now. That's crazy.
God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that, he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David. he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. Like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and their jokes in that work.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hard to keep up like a disruptive and cool attitude that's on brand with like Kanye West's edgy trolling when you're trying to be like, yeah, God is the reason for all this.
And this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy and all these things, they don't work because the media has, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stay quiet about it.
What if they?
Dangerous, that's a great take, by the way. Being a white supremacist isn't edgy in America, though. Exactly. But white supremacists want you to fucking make it seem like it's actually edgy to be a white supremacist. Like, ooh, no one wants you to say these things. Like, bro, Donald Trump was the fucking president. Stephen Miller was writing. Stephen Miller, Mr. Turner's Diaries, was writing our immigration policy. You had Joe Biden's Customs and Border Patrol, like, whipping fucking Haitian migrants at the border with their goddamn, not like actual whips, right? With their reins. And you're still over here acting like, being white supremacist is like super edgy and really crazy. Oh man, no one likes that. No, man, it's coded into all of our fucking institutions.
So I want to answer the white. Yeah. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the White Lives Matter. My dad is an educated ex-Black Panther. And he put a text to me today. He said, "White Lives Matter, ha, 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 ha." And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, "Dad, what do you think it was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious. Yeah. And, my dad doesn't listen to rap music. And he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas. And he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have an Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like my dad is the most brilliant person that I know. And we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal. And my dad would see certain things and say, we should do it this way, we should do it that way. And the people got around my mom and pulled her away, much like, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 Black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
So you said that your father said when he saw the shirt "White Lives Matter," it's great to see a black man stating the obvious. So, by which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that's my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah. Why do you think that's so, and I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that that would be considered controversial?
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a black college, he would be discriminated against because they said he talked too white.
Yes.
And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of where everyone else was clapping their hands. And this is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And
I don't even, I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I know his dad's actual true motivations in saying white lives matter. Ha ha ha. That's stating the obvious. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. Some of you are doing that in the chat, and we don't know. We don't know. Just because someone was a Black Panther doesn't mean that they still hold on to like a lot of the, principled Maoist stances of the early Black Panthers. Okay, there are plenty of Black Panthers that now work with like Rahm Emanuel and shit in Chicago. Okay, or did. It could go anyway. So that doesn't mean anything. Can't even give a coherent explanation for why other people think that phrase is problematic. He just says doesn't know. Kanye himself calls his dad an ex-Black Panther. It just like... There are varying degrees of discrimination that occur. But if you understand that it is discrimination towards someone who has been conditioned by a upbringing in a white supremacist country like America to behave a certain way, being discriminated by others within his community or behaving that type of way, and if you consider that to be like a slight that is so offensive, then what the fuck do you have to say about white supremacy? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, if you think one is bad, if you think that like that level of bullying is bad, then holy fuck, you must have a lot of thoughts about white supremacy then, because that's so much worse. You know? The only people that do that as though it's like morally equivalent are actual unironic white supremacists who are trying to propagandize their existence as somehow vulnerable. Okay? And it's fucking bullshit.
When my mom, when the school
I'll be
suggested
back.
like the herding systems, because what they do is take the black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom, she had a PhD, and she was influenced to move to the south side of Chicago and take this job at Chicago State University. And she told my dad, if you come for us, you'll never see him again. Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see my children. And they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door to see my children. And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. There's so many things that are put in Kim's head. They bring influencers, like no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from.
Why does Tucker Carlson know or care about any of this? This is so funny. He went from insane explanations of like how discrimination within the black community or maybe even like internalized white supremacist attitudes and not really doing a good job describing said feelings to, man, these people, where the fuck do they come from? Like, what is like brain leak? I got to run it back.
Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see my children. And they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door to see my children.
I mean, that was a little weird. It was a weird thing to do. But like, I was charitable in that situation, I think. And I understood that like, it was a little odd. Okay. Obviously wanting to see your children is normal. Okay. It's a normal thing. That was not normal. I don't know why he's downplaying that, okay? He's kind of downplaying his actions during that process. He's downplaying the actions that he took during that time, which included the simulated murder of Pete Davidson in a music video. I mean, there was a lot. Like, Pete Davidson's fucking weird. Sure. Okay. He's a weird guy. I can understand why you wouldn't want your, children to be influenced by him in their lives. Okay. And some of it was funny, and then it went to a not so funny place. I'm a Pete Davidson stan. Watch yourself. I don't know.
And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. There's so many things that are put in Kim's head. You know, they bring influencers. Like, no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from.
Where did that come from? You went from people placing influence in Kim's head to Corey Gamble. Where did that come from? What the fuck? It just feels like he had like an aneurysm or something, like with two wires crossed weirdly, and he just completely flipped the conversation. Am I missing a point here? Did they cut something out?
Came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is, for people that have some form of influence, whether it's an educated black woman like my mother that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential white woman on the planet, being my ex-wife, they have people that are around them at all times telling them what to be afraid of. It's like not what to do or say specifically, it's what to be.
Whereas Kanye West has Candace Owens around him at all times, and she's certainly not telling him that, okay? Like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but unironically and unconditionally, the people surrounding Kim Kardashian in that circumstance are probably better overall, considering like at least some of the things that she's done with respect to like criminal justice reform and things of that nature, versus the people around Kanye West who are just like, yeah, King, do it. Fucking blow that shit up. Blow it up. Ruin your career. You're fucking awesome. Doesn't really matter. Like, who the fuck influenced him to talk about Jewish people and stuff? You know what I mean? We know Clandis has a horrible track record in that regard. Remember when she said Hitler just wanted to make Germany great? That shit was crazy. She said that. And Kanye was like, preach. Preach on it. That's so good. Wild.
Be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, you know, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens,
right.
or it's not that we have to agree with this, but
They're not afraid.
they're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God, and everyone has an opinion.
So a conversation like this is a...
He did say Russell Brand, which, God, I don't even fucking know. It's the same old blaming the elites propaganda that he's fallen into, but then somewhere along there he had someone whisper in her ear, hey, notice how a lot of the elites are Jewish, which they're not even. Like, there are significantly more Protestant elites than there are Jewish elites. Holy fuck. That's what's fucking so annoying about this conversation. What the fuck? Also, Kanye West is an elite. He's a billionaire. New Kanye vlog? Shut the fuck up. What? It's not new with Kanye, though. Hip hop in general has had an interesting relationship with the Jewish community and anti-Semitism. Oh my Lord. Okay, these are a lot more complicated subject matters than ones we can very easily have a conversation over here in this space. Okay. Anyway, let's continue on with the Kanye thing before I get into more of this stuff.
The first indication that West might become a massive problem for the industrial deception complex came in 2015 and 2016 when Donald Trump appeared. And West had a very strong gut reaction to Trump that was very positive, and the people around him were panicked by this. The last thing you could have is one of the most popular pop culture figures in America coming out for Donald Trump. So they applied intense pressure to get him back on the script, and apparently his wife was part of that. His former wife, Kim Kardashian, who West now learns had a very close relationship with the Clintons and people around the Clintons. He had no idea. His relationship with Trump, on the other hand,
Why does nobody ever why does nobody ever on Tucker Carlson's team ever go, wait a minute, you're the most popular fucking news broadcaster in the country. The fuck do you mean the industrial deception complex? Dude, you're like 90% of that complex. How does nobody understand that that is what's going on there? Like how is that possible? That someone could be like, man, these elites sure are fucking doing all this stuff. It's like, you are an elite, bro. Getting paid like $30 million a year to defend billionaires and distract the dumbass public away from the real problems that face them, okay? So are you. Man, I am literally nothing, okay? I'm nothing. I'm a little tadpole in the fucking pool, you fucking idiot. Just because you watch me and I occupy this insane space in your mind doesn't change the reality that, like, Tucker Carlson is unimaginably more famous than I am and unimaginably more influential than I am. Nobody over the age of 35 even knows who the fuck I am. Except for your moms.
and flourished, and he got a window into the people around Trump. And in this clip, you'll hear him assess what happened inside the White House. Very interesting. Watch.
It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that Chris and Kim had called him because he had influence inside of the black community, and had called him to say, to get him to influence people to take the vaccination. Mm-hmm. And I don't have an opinion on that. I just want to state that as a flat statement. But it was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons. I didn't know,
Wait, but that's him. Brother, you're in there. You're in the photo, dog. What the fuck? What the fuck? Hold up. What? Tucker Carlson, posting that photo is kind of funny, though, because it's like... Tucker Carlson's producers posting that photo immediately as he's saying, man, I didn't know how fucking close Kim Kardashian was to the Clintons. It's pretty funny. It's like a this you moment. He's literally leaning into the photo towards Hillary Clinton.
I didn't realize it at the time.
That you were married to her.
And I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccination away. I mean, not away, but take the away part, but
Do you feel like at times you were manipulated by political forces through your wife?
Attempt manipulation. But yes, there was some manipulation. Me not saying I like Trump was a form of a manipulation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Why did you like him, by the way? You said you liked him early, like you saw him.
I mean, I keep telling this joke. If people say Trump was the first black president, I'm gonna be the first Latino president, because all the values, the conservative values just line up. Come on, man, Trump's the What do you mean? He has his own buildings. What are you talking about? He's like, like Ralph Lauren. Yeah. He made Ivanka.
You like Ivanka?
Yeah.
You wrote a post on Instagram about her husband today.
Yeah, you know,
What?
I had a dinner with Ivanka, Jared, and Josh.
Bro, biggest goobers, dude. Come on. Jared? You're hanging out with the worst goobers, man. I mean, Ivanka is one thing, but come on.
And a couple days later, I found out that Josh Kushner had 10% of Skims, which is a line that I had developed with Kim. And I had a lot of issues with the imagery of Skims. I felt like there's a lot of imagery that was overly sexualized and things that I wouldn't want to see.
Wait, what? Kanye West is running with Kanye West is running the fucking evangelical gamut right now. He's talking about like how he's upset about the sexualization in advertisement. What the fuck? Does Kanye West know who Kanye West is? He went no-fap? Don't do it. Don't do it, Kanye. Oh my God. Wait, didn't he used to date the what's her face, the slut walk lady? And like talked about eating ass and stuff. Am I misremembering? It was Amber Rose, right? Like he's been doing this for like 4 years now. Did you just wake up from a coma? She's such a fucking hoe. I love it. Kim's like the shapewear thing, right? It's gonna look kind of sexual. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's the Kim known for not having a porno. No, I mean that part is fine. You know what I mean? But I think what's going on here. I think what's going on here is the classic evangelical like born again line. You know what I mean? I think he's looking for salvation by hitting the I'm born again. I'm a born again Christian. Like I'm getting salvation through that. Yeah, I don't even know if he's trolling. I think he's just fucking lost his mind. Like a little bit.
My wife, and definitely not my daughter's doing in the future in order to sell product. But it reaches another level when it's like, okay, well, this is what my wife is doing, and this is what she's doing for our children. But it reaches another level when her business partners are selling pieces of the company that they don't have to, because the company's already so successful and it's an internet-based company. So it's like they're really just selling off the company in order to create more relationships for themselves that are unneeded. It's like when I went to the Gap and with our release, they just like, they shoveled it out. I'm very cautious with my words. I'm really big on being able to have an adult conversation in front of the children. So I don't use explicit language in interviews especially. So I found out after this dinner that Josh Kushner had 10% of Skims and I had 5% of Skims. And regardless if, Josh Kushner figured out how to put $150 million. I'm sure it wasn't out of his own account, but $150 million. And I'm sure Jared still has a piece of that fund. Regardless of them putting that money in, for me to have been an owner in it and not known, just from a place as a creative where Skims is so based on a lot of the Yeezy ideas, then it's based on all of the relationships in fashion, because I had to use my relationships in fashion in order to establish Kim in a way where fashionable people would say, hey, I'm down to wear Kim's line. And these VCs, they come in and they get a piece of it after the fact, and they run around and say they have ownership in it. So as I put on my Instagram, which, you know,
I don't get how he's not saying, like, it's kind of fucked up that a white dude owns a larger piece of that fucking company than I do when I put my fucking, like, actual blood, sweat, and tears into it. Like, he's got double the amount. That's capitalism. Like, in that situation, you could make a statement about white supremacy. You can make a statement about capitalism. You could say white people have more influence in this space as a consequence of, you know, white supremacy, and therefore they end up literally fucking getting 10% of the company, a company that I put so much time and effort into, where I only got 5% of. So even my wife is engaging in this action without recognizing it. Okay? But instead, he's over here saying the exact opposite, which is weird. He's saying that at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Actually, I was going to say he's saying something different, but I don't even know what he's saying because he's fucking out of his mind. He's just like not really making any tangible, cohesive, coherent points, really, other than the top of the hour ad break thing, which is cohesive. 2ton21, thank you for the 5 get the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. If you no longer want to see the ads yourself, you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky, or you can just subscribe on your own with a $5 subscription or for free with Twitch Prime. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
Luckily for everyone, they could just write it off that, you know, I'm crazy until they see my disposition in this interview, and then it's going to get scary. I said, hey, Josh, what if I had 10% of Karlie Kloss's lingerie, shapewear, swimsuit line, and you have 5% of it, and you didn't know? How would that make you feel? And then after talking to them and really sitting with Jared and sitting with Josh and finding out other pieces of information, I was like, wow, these guys might have really been holding Trump back and being very much a handler right then. They love to just look at me or look at Trump like we're so crazy and that they're the businessmen. So when I think about all of these things that Jared, you know, somehow doesn't get enough credit for with his work. And what is it? His work in Israel or his work in Palestine? What is this? You know where he made these peace treaties?
Wow, he stopped it. He didn't even want to say Palestine, bro. Lost his way.
Where was that? Do you know the facts on this right here? So I'm like...
I think that was between Israel and some of the Arab nations.
I just think it was to make money. I don't know. Is that too heavy-handed to put on this platform?
No, that's your opinion. We're not in the censorship business.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, unless it's fucking Rutger Bregman. Chatter's moms, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Yeah, unless it's Rutger Bregman calling out Tucker Carlson for being a fucking bitch to billionaires, being the, you know, billionaire's little puppet man.
And I just think that that's what they're about, is making money. I don't think that they have the ability to make anything on their own. I think they were born into money. And for me, as a maverick and a talent and a person that's been, you know, beat, kicked, lost everything, said to have lost my mind, went from pull myself up by my boots don't have straps on them, but I say pull myself up from my boots to becoming a multi-billionaire that gets the price every year of my net worth goes down every year on Forbes. They just keep on slowly just taking it down every year. It's like really a weird thing. But as a person that has really built something from nothing, when I sit across the table from a Josh Kushner and he just feels so entitled to that idea, and this person has never brought anything of value other than so-called being a good venture capitalist, I have a major issue with that.
Dude, he's right. It's so weird though, because like he's right about this, but then he's like reinforcing the same dynamic that has led people like Josh and Jared Kushner into positions of power. And he's simultaneously defending Donald Trump, who is very much the same kind of fucking fail son, right? Almost identical. And this is all packaged as like an anti-elites agenda. Meanwhile, he's defending Donald Trump. It makes no fucking sense. Like everything he said about Jared Kushner and Josh Kushner not putting in any effort but still reaping rewards from something that he's actually put time and effort into, more rewards, just because they have money, is no different than my takes on capitalism across the board, because those are true. Those are true takes. So how does he arrive at the exact opposite when he's defending Donald Trump?
And it makes me feel like they weren't serving my boy, Trump, the way we could have, because, you know, Trump wanted nothing but the best for this country. And it doesn't, like,
what?
Moses stuttered. And saying God is not always going to bring the most perfect personality. A lot of times, the most fake people, their job is talking and making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and the realest people are going to make you feel uncomfortable at first.
Bro, what? That's what?
Do you talk to Obama still?
I was Obama's favorite artist. He actually met with me. Obama met with me and my mama to say that he was running for office back in 2008. And that he wanted the support. And everybody was so into this idea of the black president. And you were always cool. And it's also like, you know, how many of us are there? You know, Obama level, Ye level, you know, Virgil level, just black, you know, so brilliant that we cut through all of the lines of racism. Like you just can't get rid of us. Nat King Cole level, Dave Chappelle level. So in some place we'd have to be friends and get along, because it's like, yo, you're at that level. You're like a, you know, Formula One Lewis Hamilton race car driver. We're still driving a white car, but we're the best race car drivers that ever existed. And that was...
I wonder what could possibly be, hear me out on this, the reason that black excellence is what it takes for someone to actually get above the you know, baseline and maintain their presence there. Like what could it be when like you have fail sons like Jared and Joshua Kushner in positions of prominence, meanwhile and they're still better off than like people who have been able to make their way, pave their way through all of that struggle and get to the position that they're at and still have to constantly solidify their presence there. I wonder what the reason for that could be. I don't know. Maybe the whole point behind the White Lives Matter shirt could explain it, you know? Black excellence is a fucking myth. It is sold to the black community as the American dream to fuel capitalism. It is a falsehood. Yeah, but it is not. You're right about that. However, there is still the reality that, like, you have to be an exceptional person. You know how we talk about like black athletes in European countries and how they sometimes feel like they literally have to score and win and be excellent players to be seen as countrymen? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about white supremacy's impact on the black condition across the board that makes it so that you have to be above and beyond for yourself to be recognized as, like, truly in a position of power. And you're constantly also fighting against people that will take you away. People that will try to undermine your position.
That was me and Obama's connection. But soon as I wasn't saying the things that I was supposed to say as a rapper, our connection faded.
So you don't talk to him anymore?
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you he see me.
This part was
I don't even know that, man. I just thought that sounded cool. One idea that was in my head about 3 minutes ago that I really want to say is that's really interesting about the when companies get the BLM managers.
What's a BLM manager?
Black Lives Matter office manager. It's basically
the commodification of Black Lives Matter as a movement by corporations that want to use it as a marketing tool, like social justice as a marketing tool, is what also, pollutes this conversation. I think Kanye West is hiding behind a valid criticism of what has become of the Black Lives Matter movement within the corporate structure to kind of take the blame away from his overarching white supremacist narrative in the form of wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. You do the same, though, no? Yeah, totally. Like always. I'm always doing that. What? Always. Famously. Commodify girl power in the wake of 2016 and Me Too. Yes. Like, there is a real argument to be made there. Okay? There's a real argument to be made there. I've talked about it many, many times over. Walmart throwing up the black fist and then simultaneously funding police unions is a great example of this, right? That's a great example of this. It's not real when a corporation says Black Lives Matter. Why do you always check your hand after you move your hair to see if I caught any strays? However, having said all that, that does not change the reality of people on the ground actually trying to create a movement, a real grassroots movement that revolves around mobilizing against police brutality. Why aren't you just generous with the other black white supremacist Candace Owens? She doesn't have as much power and as big as a voice as this idiot and saying the same crap she says and then some. Wait, what? Why am I not as generous with Candace Owens? You want me to be generous with Candace Owens? Candace Owens' entire fucking business is about promoting white supremacy. That's her job. Oh, this was really funny. I know what this is. She blocked me, but I know exactly what this tweet is because I saw it earlier. Hilarious, by the way. My fellow whites, do not initiate conversation with black people about Kanye West this week and do not share your opinion on this behavior. This has been a public service announcement for my people who suffer from the malady of believing everything is about them, light supremacy. She's so good. She's so fucking good. I love her. Goated. When Miskit brings Crazy Slick on stream to double dip on the comeback numbers, Jesus Christ. Lime, don't do that. You're not allowed to bring up Zenny Jardin without bringing up this, showing this pig. That, and also, what set you from? You guys remember the homie, what set you from tweet? I mean, that shit was fire. That was her. That's the person who tweeted that other thing, by the way. What? Tell me not to make the twit longer. You getting burned next? Scoop Kid 911? What? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Why is chat judging her? Because she's fucking awesome. Homie, what set you from? Why did she block you? I don't know. I don't think I've ever interacted with her, but I do make fun of her a lot on stream. She just looks like she's a cyberpunk villain, dude. It's awesome. Why are black people dick riding white supremacists so much? It's literally purely to monetize their content. It's extremely damaging for black communities, though. What do you mean black people dick riding white supremacists? I don't think a lot of black people are dick riding white supremacists. I think Kanye is. Kanye West has the right to speak his mind. He's a free man, and he can say whatever he wants. I don't agree with it, but that doesn't mean I have the right to try and stop him from saying it. I think Kanye's statement was just an extreme form of what we've been hearing for years now. Black people are angry about being treated unfairly in America, and they need to do something about it. That is so charitable that, like, it just completely is the opposite of what Kanye West is saying. Black people have been victims of white supremacy so they can defend white supremacy. It's a wonderful take. It's so good. I know a black person who is racist to other black people. Yeah, of course, dude. Yes, it's white supremacy, man. If you live under a white supremacist structure, you can have internalized white supremacy. There are plenty of people that are victims of that same exact thing. I don't know what you like. That's not the point. You're not making a good point there.
You get a semi-influential black person to become the face of a white company.
Yeah.
Right. So that means, like, in the design world, in the art world, they actually would pick artists that were less talented than other artists based on their influence, not based on their actual work, because everyone is vying for influence and an opinion. Everyone is afraid of losing their opinion. So with Nike, right? Nike is as famous as, you say Nike's more famous than PayPal, right?
Yeah.
Right. What number company do you think PayPal is?
I don't know.
Number 4.
Overall?
Overall, you got, well, you know what the number 1 is, right? It's Apple.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting number 2, but number 3 is McDonald's. Then SpaceX is maybe 6 or 7.
I don't think any of what he said is true. What is he talking about? Like, in what? What is the metric that he's referencing? Why would SpaceX be on that list? What the fuck?
It's really interesting that as lit as Elon is, his previous company is actually still worth more than SpaceX. So what number company do you think Nike is, the Nike? Number 321. It's not there to be as big a financial company as it can be. It's there as an influencer because Black people love Nike. So Nike is like a company that is redlining and gerrymandering Black people. So the reason why Gap wanted me to go to Gap, it wasn't based on, oh, we need to get our stocks up.
What? Nike is redlining Black people? I want to understand what he's trying to say so desperately, bro. Because, like, it's so crazy. I wanted to make at least somewhat sense so I can understand what's going on inside of Kanye West's mind, okay? Go on saying if you try to understand it, it changes mid-sentence. Did you really say Black people love Nike? That's like saying Black people love fried chicken. Like, bro, hello? No, that's not the same as that. Okay, first of all, it's not the same at all. But also, I don't even understand what, like, I wish I could say anything about this so I could understand what he means when he says Nike is gerrymandering and redlining Black people.
You know, it's like these companies, when they've been around for a long time.
He's saying he's being hired to pander to the Black community to keep them down. I don't fucking know. I don't want to waste brain power on this clown.
It's not like, they're like, we're in the rag trade. We're never going to be Apple. And everyone, all of these American companies somehow took this deal where they start putting in these really awkward, weird number kind of CEOs. Like Nike's got one. The Gap had one, it didn't work out. And there's all of these weird operators inside of companies, even in Balenciaga, you know. They're just there for control. Steve Jobs talked about it. It's the most important thing you can have is control. Look at me, all the money, all the influence, and I have to act a complete ass to have any say-so of anything that my children are doing because that group of people have control and say-so over all the children inside of the clan. So that's what these companies are set up for. That's the type of CEOs they're hiring, especially when the founders are out of there. They kind of just give the companies up to a bunch of people and they're all in cahoots. Like anyone that ever worked with me, they just look at, oh, who's Ye farming for talent that we can hire to be our new BLM office manager.
Oh, he's talking about pandering to the Black community, and I think he's saying, like, there are people that pander to the Black community, and they're like the BLM, office managers or whatever. And he's saying that he was utilized as a BLM office manager to pander to the Black community by fashion brands. And any Black person that is hired any black designer that's hired by fashion brands is being used in a similar capacity, right? I think that's what he's saying. How would you decode that? I'm just trying to make sense of what he's saying, man. It's hard. Okay, give me a goddamn break. I might be off a little bit. Okay, this is what do you want? The fuck do you want from me? It's not like he's making clear-cut points, okay? He's speaking from both sides of his mouth on this issue, on every issue. Guys, this is a dude who said the Kardashians, the KKK Kardashians are white supremacists. And then a week later, he's making his daughter appear on a fucking fashion show where he's got Candace Owens on his side wearing a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter. What do we... Nothing he does, it makes sense.
Kind of like Obama.
What do you think of Obama as a BLM office manager?
Best one ever.
Yeah.
Best one ever. And I think Obama, just like Virgil, these people were truly black to their core and truly brilliant to their core. But they went into situations thinking that they could do it the white way as a black man. And we saw what color Obama's hair was when he went in, and we saw what color it was when he went out. Virgil lost all his hair, and eventually passed away. So when I have techniques...
Bro, that's nuts. That's so disrespectful. What the fuck? Okay. He said Virgil Abloh, okay, a person he grew up with that he was like pretty, apparently behind the scenes, like pretty jealous of, well, openly jealous of, but behind the scenes, like ripped into regularly, got cancer because he sold out to the white man. But and that's why Obama also, he's saying that's why Obama also, aged a lot. How can Kanye be jealous of anyone? Lol, dude is the artist of a generation. Yeah, I mean, hey, when you're a petty bitch, it be like that.
That are revolutionary. If I raise my voice, if I express myself on Instagram.
I think one of the wildest things here is that, like, he's saying all this on the Tucker Carlson broadcast. Like, if Virgil going and working with Louis Vuitton, okay, if Virgil working with Louis Vuitton is being done for Louis Vuitton, like LVMH, to fucking pander to the black community, then what the fuck are you doing? You're on Tucker Carlson. Like, we've already moved past all of that. Like, he's saying there's racism in the way that corporations pander to the black community, but you're literally pandering to white supremacists, which is inherently the most, like, it's the underlying, like, through line between almost every fucking black conservative rhetoric, which is, I'm not like everybody else. I'm so different. That's why I'm fucking writing for white supremacists, because I am not a monolith, which is exactly what this is. It's always the same argument. It's always the same argument, which is, I'm so not a monolith, and I'm so contradictory. Like, I've made my own thoughts. I've made up my own mind. And that's precisely why I'm deciding to personally take matters into my own hand and choose to work with white supremacists instead. Be honest, dude. You're just mad he took the White Lives Matter shirt hype from you before you could drop a new merch line? No. I mean, I would never do that. That's insane.
It's a colonic. And people can say, oh, this what you're doing is toxic. If what I'm saying is toxic, I got to do everything to get it out of my body. And there'll be times where I see a level of like oppression, Parisian proper, like next level, France owns 80% of African banks level colonization, oppression. And I'll be like, I'm not going to let you guys kill me. But one thing that has to really happen, say if Trump ran, right? We're not just gonna be black influence. We're gonna be vision and creativity. We've gotta rethink who we are as a species. Right now, we practice killing ourselves every day. Like murder is legal in America.
What?
In abortion.
Yes.
So I'm glad Tucker clarified
whoever
that.
Gets the position needs to listen to the vision. I didn't know it was gonna rhyme when I first started. They need to have Elon, they need to have me. You should start with those two, and then we'll get to the rest of them. We could pull in a Johnny Ives, we'll pull in all of our living, super brilliant people. And we need to analyze and not just sell out for the cash. Like these Fortune 500 companies, they're just selling out for the cash and put God first.
Billionaires famously not selling out for the cash. I'm always thinking about how billionaires are quite literally the opposite of selling out for the cash. You know what I mean?
And the best representation of God is the children. The children is the extension of the family. Put the families first. There's so many things. Suburbs, the train tracks being ripped up by GM just for capitalism. All these ideas that we have. We're now living in a place where we're the orphans of capitalism, and we just have to take a pause and rethink how we can have the most beautiful existence possible for our children, for the kids, and we're all kids. Yeah. We're all God's kids. We're all sons of Abraham.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
Dude, this is what happens when you simply have no leftist like education or representation in your education. No leftist education, no leftist representation in your education. No matter how much right-wing reactionaries claim that like our schools are teaching communism or whatever. When you just go and say something true, like GM ripping fucking railroads and substituting it for fucking cars, and then but that's dovetailing off of you stating that that's dovetailing off of you stating that fucking what do you call it? Elon Musk and myself are brilliant and we're gonna save society.
It drove me crazy to not be able to say that I like Trump. It drove, because think about it, it's me. Imagine me not being able to say what I wanted. What was the point of being famous? What was the point of having, millions of people love your music? What was the point of having a voice if you can't even use your own voice and connect it to your own opinions?
Yes.
That's where the disconnect happened. That's where the, quote, I think wrongly diagnosed, that's where the bipolarity is. Because you got something you're thinking, but you're told you're not allowed to say it in public. Well, I never...
It's so petty. That's it. Wait, I want to see Tucker's face.
You can't even use your own voice and connect it to your own opinions.
Yes.
That's where the
Yeah. No, that's it. That's the perfect. People always ask, like, oh, I wonder what happened to Kanye. There you go. Just ask Kanye, man. I mean, he just said it. He's such a fucking insane narcissist that he openly admitted. He's like, yeah, it broke my brain when I was not allowed to say something. When I felt like I was not allowed to say something.
disconnect happened. That's where the quote, I think wrongly diagnosed. That's where the bipolarity is, because you got
okay, never
something
mind.
you're thinking, but you're told you're not allowed to say it in public.
It's like,
well, I never actually told people that I liked Trump when he was running, because I was bullied by Hollywood, because I stayed in Hollywood and people were like, think about your kids, and I'm trying to hold on to the marriage, so I'm just biting my tongue. Like, there's so many fathers and mothers that go to work every day and they're in a situation where they're biting their tongue because they think it will be better for their children.
That's right.
So even me in my position, I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass. They don't teach it at Sierra Canyon. And what they do is take all of the celebrities, the actors, the basketball players, and they throw them in this one school and they indoctrinate the kids. So my son's psalm is brilliant. So right now, they're looking to figure out how to indoctrinate him to make him be another part of the system. I have a choir at my school. So right now, we've come to a compromise, but I'm not finished because I don't compromise. But we come to a compromise so my kids go to my school after school and they learn choir. I sat there with my son and he came and he said,
this is actually great. I mean, there's no better way. And I know chat knows this. Some of you in the chat already know this. There's no better way to turn your kids off of religion by putting them in some fucking weird ass after school, homeschool special where you're actively being indoctrinated into Christianity. That's it. There is no better way to get his children to absolutely be like, yo, that sucks. I never want to do anything with this. The moment that they turn 18, they're gonna be like, nope, fuck that. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, imagine your dad's like fucking, manic outbursts involve you going to fucking some random Christian Christian school after school. They're going to be r/atheist Andes, dude.
why do I need to sing? I don't even go to your school. So imagine a 16-year-old version of that guy, the 26-year-old version of that guy, where the father doesn't have say-so of what the kids are watching, what the kids are wearing, what the kids are eating, who the kids are hanging out with. Ray Kurzweil said, we have the information needed to have a human utopia, but we're led by the least noble, most greedy people. There's a solution that can bring happiness to so many more people. I even had this idea about, the connection of big pharma to farms by having localized farms. With more localized farms, you can use less pesticides. If you have less pesticides, then you have less diseases. And have big pharma invest in the local farms, and they'll actually make more money. I'm not one of the people that go up and say, hey, I want to stop anybody from making money.
No. He doesn't think big pharma has anything. He doesn't think big pharma is about farms, right? No shot. There is no fucking way. I'm sorry. This man is like 47 years old. He's about to be 50. There's no shot that a fucking 50-year-old thinks big pharma is not about pharmaceuticals, but actually about farms. You misheard, you dweeb. No, I think he's saying food is medicine, not a Kanye stan for your information. He's saying farms are contributing to the drugs influencing people. No, that's literally what he said. He's dumb as fuck. No, I think he's trying to make a connection that the chemicals used in like or GMOs or the pesticides used in the way that like our food is produced is causing illnesses that big pharma is taking advantage of. Because like big pharma he's the classic like anti-capitalist adjacent take that like, oh, big pharma is in the business of like not curing people, but treating their illnesses so they can have a steady flow of revenue, right? Like it's that kind of thing. How charitable? Dude, I just don't believe that someone who's almost 50 years old is saying big pharma is actually about farms, okay? I'm sorry.
The people that make money and the powers that be,
I refuse to believe
I am your true Nikola Tesla. And I'm not even a scientist.
What do you think of Elon Musk? Do you know him?
Very well.
What's your take on him?
You said that because I said Tesla?
I did, yeah. It's just the first thing that popped.
And that everyone's always like, oh, Elon's got these answers. I think he's a great team player. You know, like I said about Ray Kurzweil and Utopia. You know, in Rome, they would bring all the most brilliant people and have them sit down to the point where their seats had a toilet in them. Like people would not even get up to use the bathroom. And they would ideate about what society needed. And they'd invent new things and they'd put it all up on the wall. And Donda, before it was a school, is a design firm. And what I would do is pull together all my favorite thinkers and we'd invent. That's why I was happy that you saw two of the inventions right there. You know, because now it's like, if I had said that before you drank the coffee, and some might joke and say you're drinking the Kool-Aid, but before you drank the coffee and before you saw the 3D printed boot, zero waste 3D printed boot, if I said Nikola Tesla, you'd probably, you could have shrugged that off. I think it's insane for an administration to not use a talent like Elon Musk more. Like, if I was in or once I am, I will eventually be president before, in my lifetime.
In my life.
But if I was in office right now, I would be calling Elon every day. I'd have him sleeping in the White House. I'd say, how do we use our platform as the most influential, that's a Freudian slip, the most influential country in the world to show the rest of the world.
It's so funny that he like criticizes capitalism regularly. And then he thinks a country should be run like a company. He says, I mean, this is classic conservatism, by the way. That's why so many of these fucking Republicans are like unironic monarchists to the core. They want the benevolent dictator to operate. And he thinks because he's such a hyper-capitalist, because he's so brain broken by capitalism and meritocracy, which is a lie, and black excellence as it pertains to that subject matter, that he thinks, we'll have a benevolent dictator who deserves to be in that position, like Elon Musk, who deserves to be in that position because he believes meritocracy. He thinks Elon Musk got there not through a series of like lucky breaks, not by being like the most effective con man, but instead because he deserved to be there.
How to live a simplified life. But our country is under attack, and media and industries outside of our country are doing anything to keep it as it was. And everyone's just afraid. God is love. And I understand I come off scary sometimes because I'm like, I'm going to protect my kids. I'm going to protect my reputation. I'm going to protect my brand. And there's times when you have to pull the guns out. You have to pull the swords out. You have to have righteous indignation as a Christian for everyone that ever said, I can't get mad because I'm a Christian. As a Christian, it's like, yeah.
I don't understand how you can work and be so successful and influential in the music business and the fashion industry, the two most liberal businesses probably in the world, as a professing Christian with a pro-life badge on. How does that work?
I always think, whenever God allows a brilliant idea to channel through me and allows me to somehow, take credit for it, I always snicker at the fact that with the liberals, their main tool is, that they use are artists and influencers, right? But then God has the number one artist and the number one influencer as a conservative. So I always chuckle at that. Every time I come up with some brilliant, I'm like, could you imagine if, they could have just indoctrinated Ye? The world could have just totally been ran into the hole. And there's battles that the devil had won.
Bro, that's crazy. Ego. Holy fuck. Dude. Not to pull a Bud joke here, but goddamn, achieving. There's some gas. Okay? I don't know what the fuck he's on, but holy shit, dude. That is... God, I just... Christian capitalists are so fucking gross. Because they just like completely abandon all the good teachings within Christianity and try to massage whatever the teachings are within Christian doctrine into capitalist ideas, like the prosperity gospel, right? It's just wild. Like the main guy. The fucking main guy was like kind of a socialist. You know? He was definitely closer to a socialist than anything else. Jesus ran a 501c3 that was a source of capital growth for his disciples. Nice try, Kami. Yeah, I mean, he said rich people can't go to heaven, dude. He said it's harder for a rich person to get through the gates of heaven than it is for a camel to go through the fucking pin of a needle. Like, that's it. There's no more clear statement on that. The eye of a needle. Yeah. Whatever. Shut up.
But the devil's a defeated foe. Like, for me to have gone from Jesus Walks to you're such a hoe, I love it, you know, that's that deviation from the path. So, I mean, I love that question because I really, every time, it just tickles me, you know, like that the very thing that liberals use the most of, they don't have the best person at it.
I mean, do you talk to other people in your business, you know, who are successful in the music industry, the fashion business, who secretly agree with you?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of fashion people. I mean, Tommy Hilfiger loved Trump. Let me see who are, I got to think of all the other Trump. I'm not even going to use the term Trump supporter,
right?
Because that's, why don't people say Hillary supporter or Biden supporter? This is just, you know, yeah, there's a lot of people. You know what? You know, people in my business who love Trump, businessmen, people who love money.
Yeah.
You know, people who love money, people who actually like being successful. And, you know,
like in his mind, he already associates success and capital with you know, somehow a moral good, which is prosperity gospel shit, right? He's like, you know who loves Trump? People who make money. Yeah, no shit they do, because he fucking helps the rich. But because he personally thinks being wealthy and being rich and powerful is a moral good, and that those who are not rich and powerful deserve to be poor because they are somehow they lack it. They lack that moral goodness within them, that he can get away with saying this shit where it's like business owners love Trump. Yeah, dude. What else do business owners love? How have they made that level of wealth and power for themselves?
and not ran into the ground. Like, those are some of the people.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube